A big hello and a very warm welcome to Brand Equity with me, Sonali Krishna. This week, Brand Equity travels at lightning speed. Our top story looks at Skoda's success story in the Indian market and how it took advantage of being an unknown brand. Moving to vulnerability of brands on social media and the emergence and importance of ORM or online reputation management. And finally, how franchise loyalty has taken a big hit this IPL season. It's a brand that made its debut in India a decade ago and took advantage of the fact that it was unknown and possibly unheard of in the Indian market. Skoda's success in India is clearly an example of smart strategy coupled with just the right pricing. Despite being a mass segment and possibly even a low-end player in the European car market, Skoda has superbly managed to position itself as a premium brand in India and continues to grow consistently year on year. Samriti Grover tells you how the Skoda story unfolded and its plans to keep the momentum going.
Sleek, stylish, and a benchmark in luxury. That's what Skoda stands for today. A brand that took the nation by storm when it made its debut in India back in 2001. And since then, there has been no looking back for this Czech manufacturer.
Very important fact of life is, Skoda was the forward scout for the Volkswagen Group to dip a toe in the Indian automotive waters and then look at everything for the rest of the brands to follow. Skoda really hit pay dirt right from the very first go, and they have not looked back again. Unfortunately for the Volkswagen Group, what was supposed to be one of their most bargain basement brands in Europe has suddenly metamorphosed in India as a very premium brand.
What's commendable is the way Skoda has successfully managed to position itself in India. Perceived usually as a value for money mass segment car in the European markets, interestingly in India it has managed to become premium and even luxury.
When you build cars with love, it shows. Skoda Auto, obsessed with quality.
A decade ago, it entered the Indian market with Octavia with a price point of 10 lakhs, a first for this market, which bridged the gap between the two ends of the pyramid in the Indian automobile sector. Right product, right pricing, and the first mover's advantage is what worked in favor of this brand. Add to that the fact that Skoda was unheard of in the Indian market made it easier for the brand to promote itself as premium.
Skoda was in the past a luxury brand, and they lost a little bit through the, like Eastern Europe development of the industry. They lost a little bit the track. Then they got into 20 years back. They got into the Volkswagen Group, and that made again a change. India was a not really developed automotive market, and besides Skoda at this time, the only European brand was Mercedes. So we launched it with the flagship car, the Octavia. Suddenly, what all the people not realized is, it was the cheapest European-built car in the market.
When Skoda came, they came with products where they didn't have too much of competition in that segment. There were few number of cars, but they were with manufacturers who had number of models. So Skoda was able to create a position of premium for themselves. But what really scored was that they came with models which had diesel, and their competitors didn't have diesel.
To me, it looks like the premium touch and feel that this marque has in India is probably a result of the fact that people did not have clear associations, did not have a clear brand image of what this brand was all about. And maybe Volkswagen realized this and said, if we can start from scratch, given the undeniable product substance that we have, why shouldn't we start with the premium position in the first place?
Their India strategy was clear. A top-down approach positioning itself just below the luxury segment, allowing it to command a premium. A move that the Indian consumer instantly lapped up.
The environment was not there for us to come with a small car. So we came with our flagship, what was at this time premium, what is a good thing because we have now a top-down approach. A top-down approach in India is easier to handle than coming from a bottom-up. For example, when you see a Maruti today, for these great brands, Hyundai, great brands, but they are majorly successful below the 10 lakhs. Above the 10 lakhs, you will see Japanese, you will see European brands.
If you look at it historically across categories and even much more in the automotive segment, brands that have actually established their credentials in a lower segment find it very, very difficult to sell products in a premium segment. It's not the same the other way around.
The rapid rise of the brand is impressively illustrated by the development of its model range. Whether it's the Octavia, the Superb, Laura, the Fabia and now the Yeti, when it comes to space, comfort and the price-value ratio, Skoda's collection is by far setting standards in their respective segments. Skoda under the Volkswagen Group continues its forward momentum in India, with the year 2011 promising to be a milestone in its India success story. In the last 5 years, Skoda has seen a growth of 30% year-on-year, with their flagship brand Superb doing extremely well in its segment, giving its competitors a run for their money. Even luxury car makers like BMW have been forced to respond to Skoda's aggressive moves and have hence launched a stripped-down version to garner share in this market.
We have today a 1% total market share, and we are competing in roughly 35% of the total market. 65% we don't have a product offer, so 35. So we will have very soon 70% of the total market, a competitive product, and we will also develop from 1% in 5 years down the line to 4% market.
Skoda will probably go for smaller cars, a little smaller than what they have. Their pricing will be more competitive because Volkswagen may not like to sell the car at that price. If they don't want to do it, Skoda will do it.
They have to do two things: continue what they have been doing right now, but they have to improve on their service and their spares. I think the latter aspect can derail all the good work they have done.
After trying hard to cultivate an elitist image for itself in the last few years, Skoda is now wanting to get its hands dirty by entering the mass segment in India. The company is looking to launch an entry-level hatchback and a limousine in the next 2 years, which will then allow them to enter newer segments, accelerating its growth. Skoda, one of the 3 brands in the Volkswagen kitty, has proven to be a trump card, at least in the Indian market. Time to get commercial, but stay with us, as up next we talk to you about ORM, or online reputation management, and how that's increasingly becoming very critical for brands.